here is where the drama starts. Lap 30, 8 laps to go. Sandopi hoping to take advantage of these lapped cars. Pilecki goes, dives onto the right side. Very aggressive here. This is lap 4. The two Viceroys. Bill Frazier ahead of Matt Pilecki. Frazier's off. Frazier hit the grass. You hit that tire wall, your day is done. Well, now it's lap 20. The Williams still trying to get around the Terrell team as he'll go around the lap car and around those at the same time. At the same time, he's got the inside corner. Will he ride the curb? Yes, he will. He will get him on the inside. Duna Maria leading us all into Moss's corner. Look at the beauty as his right side will cook the grass a little. A 180, no, a 360. Oh. Who will yield going into this corner? It's really not meant for too wide as it will be Gernald. Gernald will yield. Lots of smoke picking up from that Williams car. He is pushing it to the absolute limit. 26 of 30 now. Only 4 laps to go. He's going to get the run coming out the final corner. He's going to pull up side by side with the leader. It's going to be a drag race to the finish. Who is going to get there first? It's going to be...
Old meets new as the Lotus 79 Classic Team Championship arrives at iRacing's newest track, Tsukuba Circuit, for the season opening round of a 2019 winter season, and you're going to get to watch all of the action unfold live here all season long on the Global SimRacing Channel. Hi everyone, I'm Samuel Ryman, and alongside me in the booth is former real-world IndyCar driver Richie Hearn. Behind the scenes doing all of the button pushing is our director Amjad Yamin, and he's using camera sets provided by Dougie Beard. Richie, many of us have had experience racing at Tsukuba on the old Gran Turismo PlayStation games, but for those of us who didn't have a childhood or who maybe were a little bit older than that, what does the track have to offer?
Yeah, thank you, Sam, and I am one of those older people who've not played this on the PlayStation, but here we are at Tsukuba in Japan. It's a very short track, only 1.27 miles. It's really just a little bit longer than a long go-kart track. It is wide enough to have some good racing. It consists of 12 turns. Drivers have been saying in the forums that it's been creating some very good racing this week despite its small size. So we should see what happens. I drove a little bit here and, you know, I wasn't much of a fan, but it was only a few laps. So I'm interested to see how these guys manage these beasts, these Lotus 79 beasts around this track. Probably the best way for us to show you guys is let's jump on board that GSRC lap guide.
All right, we've got Juha Norlampi in the GSRC Lotus 79, so let's do a lap around Tsukuba. Coming down to turn 1, on paper they count this as the first 2 corners. Regardless, expect this to be one of the more popular, if rare, places for passing. But it's your typical hairpin where it's best to square off the exit. From there, the track weaves back and forth, causing the setup for 5 and 6 to be a little awkward. Again, it's named 2 corners, but it works as one single hairpin. From there, 7 will slow you up a little bit, but ideally it should be the only time you lift between the 2 hairpins. Just stay hugged to the inside of the 2 little kinks. Now, this last hairpin might offer chances to pass, but it'll be tough to pull off. It's slightly different from the other ones, with a widening radius on the exit, tempting you back onto the power early. Finally, you get a bit of a break on the run to 12. But because the entry into this fast sweeper has such late braking, I'm not sure many will be able to successfully attack the car ahead unless they're fully alongside. It's a super late apex off of here, but hopefully you've now finished a lap around Tsukuba.
Well, that's what a lap around this track is like. It's very short, but we have many laps here today. We'll get to the race details in just a moment. Let's talk about the championship. Obviously, everything's even right now. It's wiped clean. A clean slate to start this new season. At the end of last year, it was Matt Wood, who's back again this season, although I don't see him signed up for this race, who came home as champion ahead of Gernot Frisch. Gernot Frisch is in this session, so it looks like he wants to try and get his championship back from 2 seasons ago. Nuno Moreira, Adam Frazier and Sergio Fernandez rounded out the top 5 when it was all said and done. Juha Norlampi took the official Lotus 79 championship. This is, of course, what happened over in the Classic Team Championship. And they had their team championship as well. They were racing with 1981 liveries last time around. McLaren ended up taking home that award with Gurno Frisch and Simpkins behind the wheel. 16 markers over the equipped Talbot Gitans team. Keep wanting to say Ligier because I believe Gitans was associated with them as a sponsor for a long time. And then we see Alfa Romeo, Renault, and Lotus rounding out the top 5. Now, for this season, they have gone back to the 1978 teams and liveries. So the liveries that were on track when Mario Andretti and Ronnie Peterson were racing the John Player Lotus in the 1978 World Championship. And Mario Andretti, of course, came home with that title at the end of the season. And right now we're watching qualifying getting wrapped up here. So got some new teams to relearn again, Victory. And some new drivers as well. 33 cars in this single split. What are they going to be up against today? Let's have a look at the race details.
Well, probably the number one thing they're going to be up against is just traffic with that many cars on this short of track. But here we are. We're obviously round 1 of 12. We do have 4 driver drops and 2 team drops. It's going to be seems like a long race, 53 laps, but they're turning 46 second lap times, so it's going to go by very quick. No stop for fuel or tires. Setups are open, and they do have the standard incident cap of 17 points, and they also use the official iRacing point system.
Yeah, definitely in for it. Here's the thing, Richie, and we'll take a look at our weather here right now, because this could play a factor today. Even though it's 53 laps and we're saying, oh, you know, that doesn't matter a whole lot because these laps go by in a hurry, that does mean that 33 cars are going to be hitting each corner on this track 53 times. Now, without a calculator next to me, I'm not going to bother to do that quick math there right now. But that means with the dynamic track surfaces and now also the dynamic and changing weather that iRacing has, the track is not going to be the same at the end of this race as what it is right now.
No, it's going to rubber up pretty quickly and change how these cars handle. So the setups I think they start with are going to be key to see who can be strong at the end. I think survival is going to be a big thing here. Like I said, with 33 cars, they're going to be in lap traffic quite a bit. So I'll be curious just to see how many cars actually finish the race. So it'll be a fun one. It'll be busy, that's for sure.
And with this being one of the higher road course class official series that iRacing has, there's no such thing as free repairs for these guys. If they damage it, they're out of luck, I'm afraid, especially if they have significant contact. Normally, a Lotus 79 can get away with a brush with the wall if you're at a street course. Obviously, that's not the case here. There's a bit of grass between yourself and the wall. And even though the walls are quite close here, Richie, you're never really carrying a whole lot of speed.
No, you're not. And I think the corner coming on to the front straight or the last corner is probably the fastest, kind of what we're looking at right now there. Most of the corners are fairly tight, but they've got a little bank to them, so it'll help them turn. Yeah, I mean, the walls are right there. There's not much runoff, but it is wide enough to go too wide. It'll be interesting. I think probably some of these guys are probably thinking the same. And if you can qualify in the top 5, 7, you're probably safe. If you're qualifying in 15th, 20th position, you're going to be a little bit on nerves once we get started.
Am I saying correctly here that even with 2 minutes left to go in qualifying and the 33-car field, it looks like we still only have 1 car currently left on the track, and that's Peter Jerkic. And he's just turning laps. So it looks like everyone who wants to set a time has gone ahead and done it. And in fact, that's 32 cars out of our 33 cars have set a qualifying time. The only one who hasn't done so yet, and maybe they're electing to start at the back, is Lauren Doolittle. They're in the number 33 machine, which is the high. So that means they have a lower I rating than the rest of the field. Maybe they just want to start at the back and fill the first few laps of this out. Since we've got a big field then, and since it doesn't look like a whole lot is going to change in our qualifying order, let's go ahead and start reading out now. Starting with, not our defending champion, but driver trying to reclaim it, Gurno Friescher on pole position. The number 2 car is lined up alongside the number 1 car. That's Sergio Macias in second. Mark Rietred has had a good qualifying effort. He's going to be starting off from 3rd place ahead of Nicola Cocci. Also, another good qualifying performance for the number 18 car, starting in 5th, Peter Kanisti. Adam Fraser will be rolling off from 6th place ahead of 2 familiar names, Rob Olyanek and Barry West. Good qualifying performance from him after kind of a rough season last time. It's nice to see Barry getting off to a good start this year round. Charles Eric Lemelin will be starting from 9th ahead of John Stevens.
Simon Schultz will be gridding up in the 11th position. Right next to him will be Stephen Warkup. Behind them will be Keith Herner and Paulo Albertson. Behind them will be Tanner McCullough and Dustin Heroder. Next behind them will be John Atkinson Jr. and Glenn Corrigan. And on the row behind them will be Steve Sarlis and Tommy Mikel Uhola.
As the car is gridding up, let's go ahead and read off the rest here. Fabio Guerrero will be starting from 21st ahead of Daniel Gutasso. Kendrick Taylor will be starting from 23rd ahead of Nicolas Mucanos, and not a great qualifying for him down there in 24th. Aldefo Lanzantapia will be starting 25th ahead of Francisco Javier Gutierrez. Kevin Archulk will be starting from 27th ahead of Robert Simpkins, Todd Herner, Peter Jerkic, Peter Brennan, Kurtril Patenagra, and Lauren Doolittle rounding out the 33-car field. And there you see one problem with a large field and a small track, Richie. Half a field is starting in a corner.
Yeah, kind of like a large field at Silverstone. You're starting right around that corner there. That's a tough way to go on a standing start.
All right, so still get some cars just making last-minute adjustments to their setups. Still waiting for our pole sitter to appear, Gurno Frisch. And Kendrick Taylor has lost the connection. So bad news there for the driver. Was meant to roll off in 23rd place. All right, Friescher's gridded up. We should be getting the lights in just a few moments to kick off 2019 Season 1 of a Lotus 79 Classic Team Championship here at Tsukuba. The lights are off and away they go. And a nice launch by Friescher, nice launch by Macias. And he's going to try and look down the inside into turn 1, but it's not going to happen. So Friescher takes the lead. Now that's a right-hander hairpin. Here they come up to a left-hander hairpin, but the leaders are all single file. In fact, pretty much the entire field at least the top 10 single file. Then things really get dicey back there.
Yeah, getting a little dicey back there in about the 10th spot. That one left-hander there. It was interesting that the pole sitter was on the outside of turn 1, but good start from everybody in the top group, top part of this field, and so far so good.
And just like that, they're already coming around to complete the first lap of the race. Frisch ahead of Macias. In fact, Macias getting a bit of pressure from behind right now. Reacher on his rear wing.
Yeah, that's got a little tight going into turn 1. I thought Reacher was going to make the pass, but so far Macias has been able to hold him off. He's kind of lost a little bit of a touch to Gurno so far, so he's got his hands full with Richard right behind him.
So clean start up front for the leaders. Things got a little dicey in the middle, but they're all single file now. In fact, the first pack is really back around 17th place. Glenn Corrigan holding up a train of cars. Tanner McCullough, who's, well, Tanner's had a bad start. He started 15th, has already dropped back to 19th place.
Yeah, and Gurno's already completed another lap. And it'll be interesting to see how long it takes for them to get to our last place runner right now is Peter Jurczyk. So it's not going to take very long. So I think traffic's going to be everything here. Passing is going to be tough, but once they get into the traffic, that's where you're going to be able to start making some moves. Macias has been able to gap Richard a little bit. Now Richard's kind of holding up the train right behind him with Nicolo Cocci running in fourth, started fourth, running in fourth. Looks like the top basically 9 cars are all running, 10 running right where they started. So good start from everybody in the top 10, and everybody kind of hanging on, but we'll see how long it takes for Gurno to catch up to that last place runner. And they're already coming around to come up to that last section of the track.
Yeah, mentioning Kendrick Taylor lost the connection before the start of the scene. Running in last place right now is Peter Jursic, but he's still half a lap ahead of our race leader, Gurno Frisch. Top 9 cars have remained in positions where they started. So as you mentioned, Richie, a very calm start to this race, but I have a feeling that's exactly what these drivers wanted. And we've got trouble at the back, though. Gets back going again. Once again, that's one nice thing about these lot of slow speed hairpins around here is you can kind of get away with spins as long as another car doesn't hit you. Although another car hit him to kind of get him in that position in the first place, John Atkinson Jr.
Yeah, he got kind of hit from behind and lifted up, spun around, did a little damage to his rear wing, but he didn't hit the wall, so he was able to spin around, and here you go, right there. Oops, thank you very much. I'll take that position. And unfortunately, he'll get going again, but he's got some damage. I don't know if that damage is going to matter much here.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of twists and turns, so you think you want aerodynamics helping you out, but then again, they're not very high speed. I have a feeling oh, man, Atkinson Jr. really getting into it.
Yeah, he's not. It doesn't seem like he's very happy. He wants some position there. I thought he was going to center punch Kirchill there, but they were able to kind of keep it clean as they come around to complete another lap. But right now, Gurno's kind of opening up the lead there 2 seconds, which is what he normally does. It's good to see him back here right at the start of the season, but he's doing what he's normally do. Oh, we got another car
More
out.
trouble. Yeah, this is Stephen Walkup. Let's see if he got help.
Yeah, looks like just got kind of muscled out and clipped wheels. No big deal, but loses some position, but looks like he's able to continue. There's the onboard camera, but you see Dustin's just got to just make a move, kind of like a go-kart race. You just got to stick it in there and hope for the best, and unfortunately, the other guy took the brunt of it.
So a little bit of argy-bargy coming into play in the midfield. Nothing changed up front. The top 9 positions, as we mentioned, the same as where they started. The first change for position was Simon Schultz. Broke his way into the top 10 at the start of the race by getting around John Stevens. Biggest move of a race looks like it's been Tommy McAlton-Hola has moved up 5 spots from 20th to 15th.
It's nice to see a lot of new names here, so hopefully these guys all continue. And I mean, there's a bunch of people here we've never seen, at least I haven't seen, running in the top split, so it's nice to see.
As the field still working early days here. So as we've been making this point quite clear here, Richie, that the start of this race has been very calm up front, but how much do we expect that to change as we're going to go through the event? Because right now we see some cars doing better than others, but maybe some drivers have thought ahead, done races earlier this week, and maybe they are just taking it easy now, knowing that they've got a car that's better in the long run.
Yeah, I mean, the track will rubber up, and that's probably, obviously we've seen before is these cars, the fuel lightens up, but they get faster, and that can affect your handling. I'm watching Gurno right now, and he's already he can see the back of the field. He's about 1 corner behind, so I think this is where we're going to start seeing where it's going to get interesting. He's coming up to a battle with looks like Kendrick Taylor and Lauren Doolittle. They're coming onto the front straightaway here, and Gurno is just coming onto the front straightaway, so he's like just basically half a corner behind. So kind of keep an eye on that. It's not so much Gurno going through, it's when the rest of the field starts plowing through as they're all bunched up.
Yeah, we just saw one car in the pits there. Cuchillo Pata Negra started all the way back in 32nd place. Unfortunately, that's where he's running right now. He's going to rejoin in the middle of the pack, so some drivers a bit further back have got some lap traffic to fight now.
And having some new drivers out here as well. That'll be interesting to see how some of these guys... looks like we got some action for P3.
Yeah, Kochi just got by retread. Let's have a look at this one.
Just got a good drive. Looks like Grishar just got off the track a little bit. Couldn't put the drive down, and that just opened the door for Kochi. So nice move. But they're all starting to come through that traffic, and we'll see how this all mixes everything up. It's definitely going to stack the field back up, I believe.
Oh, we got trouble. Is that retard again? 2 times within a lap. And that's going to cost him a couple more positions. Koneski and Fraser get by him, and retard is going to drop all the way back to 6th place. I wonder if this is one of those short-run setups, Richie, that we're seeing his car go away as the race goes on.
Either that or just getting a little excited with that right foot on that throttle. He didn't hit anything, but he's definitely lost some positions. He started 3rd. He's all the way back down to 6th place at the moment. Still have a long ways to go. We're only at lap 12 and 53, so he has some time to make that back up.
And the battle for 4th right in front of him might be heated up a little bit, because they both were getting held up by the lap car of Lauren Doolittle. Doolittle wasn't doing anything wrong there, but they just caught them at a bad place, and that bunched Koneski and Fraser back up. However, they remain in their positions. Here's the problem, Richie. Look at the lap counter at the top of our screen. It's lap 12 of 53, and we're already fighting lap traffic. The leaders are going to have their work cut out for them. Now, normally you say, well, Samuel, we see a lot of this in sports car racing. Why is this a surprise or a big deal? Well, this isn't sports car racing. You know, a lot of these guys might not have experience dealing with as much lap traffic, and also these are open wheel cars. Sometimes in sports car racing you can get away with nudging the lap car out the way, or if you miscommunicate and you rub fenders, you can fight another day. You can't do that with these sims.
No, there's no contact supposed to be happening in open wheel racing. You'll bend something or send somebody off, so it's going to be busy. So lapping cars at lap 13, we should see Gurno come through the field at least probably 3 or 4 times. Got a good battle here for 4th spot between Fraser and Koninski. Koninski running the 18 car, running in 4th spot, so great job for him. If he can finish up here, he's going to get a really good points haul. But they're stuck behind another lap car, and here they come down the front straightaway, and no room for Fraser, but he is all over the back of Koninski.
Keeping half an eye on the battle for 15th as well. We were looking at these guys a bit earlier in Hola and McCullough, and even though McCullough doesn't sound like he's had an impressive race, and he hasn't, because he started 15th and he's in 16th now, he's been as low as 20th, so he's definitely a guy to keep an eye on, trying to make some moves out here. Just right now he's stuck behind doing Hola and he can't find a way by. He got very close to hitting him there.
Meanwhile, Gurno Frisch is doing what he normally does. He's already got almost a 3-second gap to 2nd place. Sergio Macias, who is no slouch in these cars. Be interested to see how many cars Gurno actually laps. He's been busy on the button, I noticed, telling thank you for the lap cars, but he has been doing a good job staying clean. Just he's able to be patient with that type of space, though.
At the other end of the field, we should mention for Kendrick Taylor fans that he was able to connect a few minutes after the race started. Small problem. If you're at a track like Le Mans or something, that means you're only half lap down. But we're at Tsukuba, and that means he's 7 laps down.
Yeah, that's unfortunate when you do all that practicing, qualify, and then that happens right before. If he hangs tight, though, I'm not expecting all 33 cars to finish the race. And so he might be able to gain some positions and some points just by staying out there. This battle we're watching on screen is heating up as Frazier and Peter Kaninsky are just going at it here. They have no lap traffic in front of them at the moment, so it's just man-to-man right now, and Kaninsky's doing a good job holding off Frazier.
It's still early on, so these drivers can afford to be patient, and since they know lap traffic is probably going to play a heavy factor in this race, they might also want to use lap traffic, although Kaninsky isn't taking any chances, going all over the track, kicking up dust on both sides of the circuit, trying to stop Frazier from getting a good run on him. Nice little scrap going on here for position. The battle for 14th has heated up. Alberton has been called up by Unhola, and they are going side by side through the final corner. And Unhola, I think, is getting a bit impatient because he knows he's got McCullough pressure in him from behind, and he wants to get by Alberton.
Yeah, Tanner McCullough tried to stick his nose in on Uhola right there, and no room. Stays clean, but yeah, it's a nice battle, three-way battle here for 14th, 15th, and 16th.
And the reason you might want to fight hard for that, you keep talking about how we expect attrition to play a bit of a role in this race, Richie. Well, all you need is a few of the leaders to run into a bit of trouble, and this could be a battle for a top 10 spot.
Oh, we've seen it happen many times with this type of racing. These guys sometimes make some mistakes. These cars are not, they're fun to drive, but they have no traction control, no ABS, so it is easy to kind of light the rear tires up and spin, as we've seen already early on. So yeah, just want to kind of stay out there and first race of the season and try to finish strong, get as many points as you can. Ooh, that was really close there with McCullough. Thought he was going to hit Uhola going into the corner, but he's able to stay clean. I can assume these guys, you're behind somebody for that long, you're going to get a little frustrated and start taking chances that maybe you normally would not do. And that's just the nature of this track.
Yeah, the good news, though, Richie, for these two drivers is they've been running like this for so long that I assume they've got to imagine they can trust each other by now. Like, if this guy was going to hit me, he would have done it by now.
Yeah, I would assume so. Yeah, absolutely. But some of these guys, they don't know each other, so it's going to, sometimes you have to learn how everybody drives before you can trust them. Wow.
Battle for 7th potentially brewing. We haven't really mentioned the drivers back here yet, but Rob Olyanek and Barry West having decent performances so far.
Yeah, I'm watching Sergio Macias right now. He is in a beehive of cars, and he's got about 5 or 6 of them he's trying to get around. Gurno has already gone through them, but he's gained a little bit of time on Gurno, but now he's got to go through those lap cars, and it's quite a mess. These guys are lapping fairly quickly compared to the guys in the back, so I'm sure they're going to get frustrated, but just got to stay clean. This is where you got to have a little patience, a little discipline, and just let the race come to you. Sergio's going to try to go 3 wide into turn 1 and splits those 2 cars. That was pretty good, and good job for those guys, both also recognizing that Sergio was there, not closing the door on him.
Looks like he just put a bit of a Nigel Mansell and a lap down there. It's always nice seeing the retro paint schemes here in the Lotus 79 Classic Team Championship. And since they're all assigned to new... Oh, big slide there. That was Frazier getting sideways. And McCullough's in trouble.
Yeah.
Yes, he has been off.
Yeah, he was trying hard to get around Uhola there for a while. Looks like just comes onto the front straightaway, and a little contact there. Was that a lap car? Oh, that was Uhola. So just those guys were battling out, and looks like McCullough was trying to go around the outside, and Uhola didn't want to have any piece of it. Oh, it looks like actually McCullough just turned in a little early.
Well, I thought those guys would have been able to trust each other by now. I guess I was wrong.
I think we'll see the frustration build a little bit when you're, like I said, when you're behind somebody for that long, you're just tired of it, and you figure, well, I just got to make a chance.
The good news for McCullough, it looks like he's only lost one position. That's to Paulo Alberton, who he passed earlier on in the race, so he's just got to do all that again. Fraser's near slide from 5th place hasn't cost him any time. He's still right on the back on Peter Koneski, and actually he's thinking about taking 4th from him, and rightfully so, because Mark Richard is pressuring them both from behind as the lap car goes off and lets these 3 red cars go by.
Yeah, the battle for is closing up a little bit up front. Sergio's been able to make up almost a full second on Gurno as they are in some heavy traffic, so we'll kind of keep an eye on that as we get a little bit farther into the race. Hopefully we can get Sergio up there and pressure Gurno just so we can have some fun.
And Nicola Cotree, don't think we forgot about you in 3rd. You're just having kind of a quiet race, so we'll give you a shout out now. But I think it is time to head back on over to the battle for 4th, because they're coming out onto the front straight. And Fraser's going to try and get a run and look down the inside to Koneski this time. Koneski having nothing of it, and Fraser was way too far back. We were talking about the paint schemes a little while ago. There you see the Ferrari livery on Fraser. He is teamed up with John Stevens this season around for the Scuderia Ferrari team. Stevens currently running down in 11th. So Ferrari having a good debut here. Right now, Koneski really getting caught up by some lap traffic. That's really bunching these 3 up.
Yeah, he got Reichardt right behind him. He almost put a move on Adam Fraser, and all these guys are... Oh, there's some contact. Oh, no.
Oh, they're both in the wall.
Oh. And Reichardt's able to keep going, but Fraser, I just don't think he knew he was there. As we watch on board, it's 2 Ferraris going to battle here. And I just don't think he knew he was there. And unfortunately, Fraser got the worst end of that. He's in the wall.
Ferrari's good day just went downhill a little bit. It's getting on board from Fraser here.
Reichardt got a good run off that corner, and I think Fraser was watching the car in front, just didn't know he was there.
So, Ferrari's day goes downhill. What teams are having a good day? Well, Gurno Freestyle race leaders racing for Team Brabham this year. So they're off to a good start right now. He's teamed with Peter Koneski. And actually, that's a really good day for Brabham then, because Peter Koneski is the 18th on these machines. He's running 4th. Wonder if Frisch's been handing over some of his expertise to Koneski.
And just as I said that Sergio was catching Gurno's finally got through that lap traffic and has been able to open it up to a 3.5 second lead. So that battle is fizzled out for the moment.
And what about you, Sergio Marcias? You're racing for... Nah, it doesn't look like he's competing in the Classic Team Championship with one of the Formula 1 team paints anyway. Barry West, he's out there having a good day, racing for the Ligier Gitans team, running in 7th now with Fraser's incident.
Yeah, it's good to see Barry. He's always very competitive. He had a rough season last season, so nice to see these just quietly running around in 7th spot, qualified 8th, running 7th. No drama for him at the moment.
And his teammate this season will be George Lambert. Not sure he's in this race. Actually, talking about cars in this race, we should update that. Unfortunately, Kendrick Taylor lost the connection again, so looks like he will be ranked 33rd at the end of his sim. Glen Corrigan. I kind of miss the old orange and yellow livery he had on his cars. It was easy to pick his car up.
Yeah, it changes every season, so you get used to their paint jobs, and then all of a sudden we have to relearn them a little bit. It is nice to see the way they do this Classic Team Championship with they kind of mimic the paint jobs from back then, and some of these things are really fun to watch. Fun to see, I should say. I'd like to give a shout out to him. He'll started 20th all the way up to 13th at the moment. been able to fight off that battle. He's got McCullough right behind him again. They had a little contact early on, and McCullough's been able to get right back onto the gearbox of Unhola. So the battle's not over, but Unhola's doing a good job running the number 13 car. A little quiet up front. Gurno is now stretched out to a 4-second lead, so Gurno definitely has the speed on his own. Just that traffic is really his only battle. Oh, we got a battle here. Here's that battle. Ooh, Tanner, I don't know. He must not be very happy with Unhola, because when he went to pass him, he kind of dipped over and gave him a little let you know I'm here type of move, and no contact made, but these guys not too happy with each other at the moment.
Well, now that McCullough has finally got that position, the bad news for him is he's got about 8 seconds of air, well, not even clean air, because it's filled with lap traffic in front of him before he gets to the guy in 12th, who we should give a shout out, because I don't think we've ever mentioned his name in the Lotus 79. Well, actually, I take that back. I've seen him before, but it's been a while. Dustin Herradur running out there in 12th place. He started 16th.
Running that Parmalat Brabham. I used to love that car. I was one of my favorite drivers was Nelson Piquet when he ran for that team, so it's always one of my favorites.
I always feel Piquet never gets the credit that he deserved their victory, because he won about 3-4 Formula 1 World Championships against the likes of Prost, Senna and Mansell. It's like, man, you know, if he hadn't had all those other legends up against him, he would have been one of the legends of the sport himself. Which I'm not saying he isn't. I'm just saying sometimes he gets lost kind of in the mix there, you know?
Yeah, that era, there was a lot of great drivers. You had Mansell, you had Prost, you had even Senna was back then. And, you know, yeah, he does get a little lost in the mix, but he had some great runs, won a couple world championships. Unfortunately, tried to run Indy and then had that terrible wreck where he ruined his feet, so kind of ended his career prematurely.
Even a lap down, we have some good battles going on. That's what you're seeing right in front of Simon Schultz here. The yellow car he's trying to put a lap down is Francisco Javier Gutierrez. But Gutierrez doesn't want to lose too much time because he's battling Robert Simpkins, who's now a couple cars up the road of him. He was right on his rear wing just a few turns again.
Yeah, there's some great battles going through the field, like you said, even though they're a lap down. I will point out that Gurno's already lapped all the way up to 16th position. So he's making his way through the field very quickly.
Another couple of drivers having a good race. Charles-Eric Lemelin running out there in 8th position right now. He's started 9th. Now, Lemelin's always interesting. Always seems he must fall in... I don't know how they do the draw entry, but he always ends up being in one of the top teams. And, every now and then he has bad races that kind of hurts the top teams in their performances. But it's nice to see him getting off to a good start here. I mean, you see he's got the number 17 car, so he doesn't have the best die rating in the field. But this is definitely a good race he's got going so far. Starting 9th, running up by an 8th. And his teammate is Matt Woods. It's actually Wood, the defending champion, kind of costing them a couple points right now by not being here.
Yeah, he's just running alone there, and that John Player Special Lotus doing a good job. 17th, number 17. You notice you said, oh, his I rating may not be that good. It's better than mine I'm looking at right now. So I'd probably be like number 30 in this field. But you can just tell by the quality of the field just by being he's 2600 I rating and car number 17. So this should be a good points haul if you can keep it right there. Same thing with Barry West right in front of him. Still doing a good job. Oh, we got a little incident with Albertson.
Looks like it's cost him a couple positions. Oh, that's Macias who got into the back of him. Our driver running in 2nd place.
Yeah, Yeah, this is going to definitely mix this up because Macias is going to have some. Yeah, he just ran. Ooh, looks like Alberton. I don't know if he was. Yeah, he was trying to let him by and just caught Macias like off guard. And that, you know, if you're being lapped, the best thing to do is just drive your pace, because if you're lapping that car, you're trying to go off their pace. And if you change all of a sudden, and that's kind of what would happen.
Well, the good news for Macias is even though it cost him a bit of time, his car doesn't look too badly damaged. He still has a couple of seconds gap over Kochi in third place. It looks like he might have been able to get away with this one. He definitely got off better than Albertson, who dropped from 15th to 17th. Glenn Corrigan and Steve Salas got by him.
Yeah, I thought he'd have more damage than that on his front wing, but he hit him pretty square and didn't lose any position, just lost some track time. He's now about 5 seconds back.
We just jumped back up to Macias, but I want to go back to Alberton because that guy right behind him, Adolfo Lanzantanja, he's had a whale of a race. Started all the way back down in 25th and is up to 18th. Plus 7 spots, I think, makes him the biggest move in the field.
Yeah, that's a name that we haven't called before, so a nice job for him for his debut on the Classic Team Lotus Championship here.
More battles going on back here. Nicolas Mucanos running in 20th place. Actually, he just got that. What is up with Stephen Walkup today? I think he was involved in an earlier incident, wasn't he? He's down there in 21st place in the number 3 machine. Yeah, that's called a knock to your eye rating, unfortunately.
Surprisingly, everybody's kind of separated out a little bit here. It's kind of quieted down as we're working lap 38 of 53. Nothing too crazy going at the moment. Gurno is lapped all the way up past 10 and McCullough in 15. So he's just making his way, doing his thing. Sergio's still holding second, albeit he's 5.5 seconds behind. And Nicola Kochi is doing a good job in third spot.
Yeah, since we're about 3/4 of a way into this race, let's take a look at our weather again, see if it's changed a little bit throughout the race. And I've got to admit, I think the answer to that is no, Richie. However, even though the track may have not changed temperature-wise, there's going to be lots of rubber and dirt off of a racing line out there, which is bad news for our lap cars who are trying to pull over and let the leaders by. Yeah,
you can see it rubbering up just a little bit there. I would have thought it would be a little darker at this moment, but you know, it's getting there.
Ninth through 11th, we've just caught up with it here. They're all within striking range of another. It starts with Simon Schultz, who's had a decent race. Broke into the top 10 at the very start. He's a blue and white car that was at the front of your screen right there. Then we got Stevens. We're riding on board his bit of a beat-up car running in 10th position, ahead of Keith Hernan, the 21 machine, and Dustin Herrader rounding out that 4-car battle that goes from 9th all the way back to 12th.
Yeah, this is probably the best battle on the track, and not too far behind them, though, is our leader, so he's catching up to this group, and even though these guys are racing hard together, he's going to have to make his way through cleanly. Yeah,
because it's, I mean, even with a 6-second lead, it's not exactly like Frisch can ignore these guys in front of him. If he slowed down for them, Macias will catch him, so he's got to find a way to get through this herd somehow.
Yeah, I know. We also saw what happened with Sergio, just that guy trying to let him by, and there's some contact, so, you know, that's also a possibility. Guys battling up there, tightening up the grip on 9th spot, all kind of leading the way. They're going to be getting that blue flag on their screen fairly soon here. Sergio Arguno still pushing hard. He's still pushing out fast laps. Not the last time because he had some traffic, but he's still, like I'm watching him, he's still getting right to the edge of the track and getting sideways sometimes. So he's not letting up anytime.
Another small battle again, not far behind these guys, is for 16th place. That goes Glenn Corrigan, Paulo Alberton, and Adolfo Lanzentapia. Alberton has been involved in something all race long, it seems like. There's always one of those drivers, isn't there? I'm sure I'll have a couple of good stories to tell when the checkered flag drops.
Quite a mess of cars we're watching right there. These guys are all racing hard. We are getting close to the end with only 11 laps to go. It's going to go by fairly quickly. So we'll see how patient these guys can be. There's Gurno catching up to the back of that group there, which is Dustin Hiroto. How do you say his name again there? How do you say his...
Hiroto is what
Hiroto,
I think, and something like that, yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, Dustin.
You know, oh, got a battle going on here. Oh, a spin going on here. Charles-Eric Lemelin. Oh, no, he's losing a bunch of positions. We were mentioning how good of a race he had going. Yeah,
he's got some serious damage, too. His car's not steering straight. He's going to take a tow, but yeah, it looks like, oh, he just loses it on his own, just noses it in, just got on the gas, and he's back into the pit lane at the moment, so... That's unfortunate. We were just talking about him and running in 8th, and unfortunately his race looks to be over.
And the really bad news for him, and I was just about to mention this point, we have not had a whole lot of attrition today. This is probably going to drop him back to 30th place. Lauren Doolittle pulled out of a race a little while ago. Adam Fraser, we saw his misfortunes earlier on, and Kendrick Taylor has had those connection issues. Well, all of a sudden... Lemelin's only the 4th driver to really call it a day in the pits, so that'll probably put him down there in 30th place.
Yeah, which is surprising. Usually, it seems to happen. We think it's going to be a high attrition, and everybody stays clean, and it's been that way. And Gurno's about to go by and lap for 10th spot. And he's making his way through that pack we were watching earlier, but these guys are separated out enough to where I don't see it being a problem for him.
Yeah, well, these guys are fighting for one position better now with Lemelin out of the picture. I definitely think a Lotus team is going to be a team to watch out for this season, though, with Lemelin and... oh, very wide there goes... that's John Stevens. And side by side goes Hernan Herderer. Boy, those guys were getting close. This is allowing Schultz to run away with 8th place. The way Stevens was slow on the exit, I assumed it was a lap car letting them by. But no, this is for all 4 position with just a few laps left to go. 9 to go. Actually, 8 to go for these guys as they cross the line because they're all a lap down now, despite the fact they're running for 9th.
Yeah, I think John Stevens tried to get out of the way for Gurno and then slowed down a little too much and brought those other drivers right behind him. So this battle is heating up for that 9th spot.
Yeah, so it really hasn't hurt Stevens a whole lot because he's still in his position. It's kind of just helped Schultz run away from them. We got more trouble on the track we're hearing, and oh, Tapia. The driver was having a good race, and not anymore. Unfortunately, we've said that a few times today. That one was not his fault.
Was that Sergio that hit him from behind?
Bukanos getting into the back of him here, so this would have been for position. Sure, those drivers will talk about that one later on. And then Tapia's car's crabbing, so he's going to pull it into the pits.
We're also starting to see that new dynamic weather changes. Nice cloud cover over the track at the moment, which really makes it interesting because then the track cools down and get a little bit more grip, but it's neat to see. Right now, Gurno is lapped all the way up to 8th spot, so he is just motoring his way through this field, doing a good job. I mean, we haven't watched him the whole time, but I really haven't seen any huge dramas with him, so everybody's kind of being respectful of the number one car, the leader, so that's good to see. Sergio, doing a good job. He's still 7 seconds back. Had a little incident with one of the lap cars, but he can't be disappointed with where he's running at the moment.
You see our race leader here is catching a bit of a scrap for 19th place between Stephen Walkup trying to hold off Gutasso, but Gutasso pulls to the outside, lets Fish by, and the battle should resume in a couple moments. Gutasso's got to be careful because the car behind him will be for position. John Atkinson Jr. in 21st.
Yeah, quite a string of cars we're watching there as they come onto the front straightaway. All working each other. We've got 5 laps to go. Gurno's made his way through that pack.
Yeah, so this is a 4-car battle for position here, or at least a 4-car train. Stephen Walkup in 19th, Daniel Gutasso in 20th, John Atkinson Jr. in 21st, and at the back of it is Kevin R. Chalk, who's that Nigel Mansell fan I was talking earlier. I don't know if that's true, but he's racing one of those 1980s Williams liveries with the red number. It's not the red 5 on the front of that, though. It's the red 22 for him today. And dealing with some of the leaders going by him right now.
That's quite a gaggle of cars you see right there. Everybody's running for different positions, but running for their own positions. And, as you see,
contact between
Sergio
Chalk and Macias, yeah.
Yeah, I think, Macias took a real big risk right there. I don't think it was really necessary at this point. Oh, man, that was close. And then got a little tap from behind. So, yeah, Macias is just got to finish this race. He's not going to catch Gurno. He's just got to try to stay clean at the moment.
Got a couple of seconds ahead of Kotri as Gurno Fish just went into the 46.6s. I think it's safe to say Fish is definitely going to be a threat for the championship again this season.
Yeah, he's always a threat for this championship. It just depends if he can make all the races.
I also think it's safe to say that the battle for 8th is not over yet because they are being held up by a lap car right now. Schultz just got by Atkinson. Stevens is now behind him. Herder and Herodor are also battling him for position, but now they're about to get held up by Atkinson through the final corner. Atkinson needs to realise, just needs to stay out of the way because this is an angry nest. And Macias, boy, he just needs to give these lap cars bit wider berth. He's able to get by Atkinson without too much issue there. And there you see what's been happening with all this traffic. That's Kochi at the back of his train. He has really ran down Macias. Right now he's got a lap car in between him and the likes of Atkinson. Atkinson just gained a position from Daniel Gutasso, letting them all by. And now Kochi gets by Atkinson, and the car in front of him is for 2nd position.
Yeah, now we know why Sergio was trying so hard to get through his lap traffic. He can see Kochi coming up on him, and next car in line is that 3rd place position.
So a lot of battles left to be determined, and only 40 seconds left to determine them, because Gurno Frisch has started the final lap, and there's contact between Macias and Kochi, and boy, things almost got ugly there.
Oh no! Kochi gets hit as well.
Oh, Kochi's race. He's got 15 seconds ahead of Koneski. Here's Koneski's teammate coming through the final turn right now. Frisch is going to take a win. Macias should safely get 2nd. But what's going on behind there, Richie?
Right where I am is Sergio got lucky as Kochi got hit And Sergio's going to come around and take that second place with a very eventful ending of the race. And Kochi's going to come around and take third. He had an opportunity. Konitsky's going to come around. It looks like he's going to take fourth.
Unholo crossing the line, missing part of his front wing. Maybe he got a little piece of all this.
Here's the replay here. We got first contact with basically Macias, and then Kochi tries to get into it, and the lap car comes right on the inside of Kochi and almost flips him over here. Fortunately, he gets to keep going. It's going to be some unhappy people, I think, at the end of this race.
Not often you go up on two wheels and you only lost 3 seconds. We just caught the end of that. I felt for sure Kochi was going to run the risk of losing his podium. He got away with that one. Well, it all definitely kicked off at the end there. For Gono Free Show, the race was pretty much the same all race long. He had a clean track, or at least as far as leaders were concerned, and took home a victory from pole position. We'll have a chance to talk to some of our top finishers here, as well as a full race rundown here on the GSRC. Don't go away. Hello. Hello and welcome back to Tsukuba. Sorry for a technical issue there. We have just witnessed 53 laps of racing action here to open up the new season of the Lotus 79 Classic Team Championship. At the end of the day, it was Gernot Prix taking home the race victory. Let's have a look at our full race rundown. Macias was about 10 seconds behind him, ahead of Kochi, Koneski and Richard rounding out the top 5. Olyanek came home in 6th place ahead of Barry West, rounding out our cars on the lead lap. Only 7 cars finishing on the lead lap. Simon Schultz, John Stevens and Keith Herner round out the top 10.
Yeah, coming in 11th is Dustin Herder. Tanner McCullough had a good run there, a little action going on, finishes 12th. He had a little bit of a great battle with Tommy Unhola for 13th. Glenn Corrigan in 14th. Steve Sarlis in 15th. Paulo Albertin in 16th. Fabio Guerriera in 17th. Nicholas Mucanos in 18th. Stephen Warcup coming home in 19th. And Daniel Gutuzzo in 20th.
In 21st position at the line was John Atkinson Jr. And then Kevin Chalk came home in 22nd ahead of Francisco Javier Gutierrez. Todd Herner finished in 24th place ahead of Robert Simpkins. You see, even these drivers who had some incidents were finishing 2 or 3 laps down, just how short this track was. Peter Dresik finishes in 26th ahead of Kutril Paitanegra down there in 27th. Peter Brennan in 28th ahead of Adolfo Lanzan Tapia and Charles Eric Lemelin. Those latter two not making it to the end, 10 and 12 laps down respectively. And then rounding up the field on the final page here, we have our drivers in 31st, 32nd and 33rd. Those are Lauren Doolittle, Adam Fraser and Kendrick Taylor. But it was Gernot Prix taking home the race win. And Gernot, if your goal is to get the championship back and take the title back from Matt Wood this season, you got off to a good start.
Hi guys, yeah, it was a good start, but it was a really tough track to begin with. I think that were 53 laps of pure madness, but in the end things went surprisingly well, so I'm happy with that win, and yeah, looking forward to some other great tracks this season.
How difficult is it to deal with that much lap traffic? I mean, I know obviously at the pace you race at, lap traffic is nothing new for you. You know, there's always going to be a couple cars off the pace. However, the fact that you had, you know, different packs of lap cars who were all racing for position, doing their own thing, is that something you're familiar with from other series, or were you having to adapt a little bit?
Well, I guess you can compare it a little bit with multi-class driving. So, yeah, I don't have much experience with that, but yeah, I have lots of experience with the Lotus. So I know how the car behaves, and that helps even in tricky situations. And most people in this series are really gentleman drivers, so that helps a lot. What was really tough in this first race of the season is that there were many unknown drivers. Then it's really hard if you're approaching a corner and you don't know the other guy.
All right. Well, we got 11 rounds left to go until the end. And obviously, Tsukuba, you already said, was a bit of a tricky track. How do you fancy your chances going forward of putting another good 12 weeks together? And I assume we're going to see you all the way to the final round and try and get the title back.
I hope so. It would be nice if I can compete at the very top, but we'll see. There's so many fast guys in this series, so it's always really tough.
All right. Well, thanks for coming to talk to us, Gernot, and we look forward to seeing you again soon.
Thank you very much. Congrats to Sergio, Nico, and also to my teammate Peter, who did really well this week. So see you guys. Bye-bye.
Yeah, definitely Peter having a strong finish. Looks like Brabham going to be a force to be reckoned with this season. Richie, you called up with Nicola.
Yeah, Nicola Kochi, this is Richie Hearn here. How you doing?
Hey guys. I'm doing fine, thank you.
Congratulations on your third place finish. A little bit quiet there in the middle, but got pretty exciting near the end.
Yeah, exciting. I don't know if it's a correct word. It was total madness.
Yeah, the lap traffic was tough. A little bit of a wild card this track, and I didn't expect to see as many cars finish the race, but near the end, you had a chance to get Sergio as he was kind of making his way through traffic, and then you got a little bit of a bump from somebody, and unfortunately ended that battle for you.
Yeah, and I almost risked to end my race there because it was so close to get my car rolled up upside down, and that was at the last lap. I don't know, it's 90% of the time all the lapping is just nice, but for the 10% it's so dangerous. People are doing things that make no sense from my perspective, and they have no awareness. They just I don't know. I don't want to talk too badly to the back markers.
No, I totally understand. It was a kind of a tough race to start the schedule. A lot of new names out there. And are you planning on going to run the whole season here?
Yeah, that's my plan. I think I'm gonna try to run this season and the next one here in 79. So yeah, I'm very happy that this round is finished and we can move over to more serious racetrack.
Yeah, I think Gurno kind of had the same thought as well. So, well, man, good job. Nice job on the broadcast as well. And we look forward to seeing you next week at the Nordschleife.
Okay, guys. Thank you all. See you there.
All right, so we wrapped up our podium finishers, but not our lead lap finishers, which was an achievement in itself today. Barry West, boy, did you expect to see the leader coming up on the interview, even when you were in 7th place?
No, I didn't. I was really surprised to see the red on the F3 there. Gernot was about 5 seconds when I first saw him, but there was a few cars between, and I realised that there was it was difficult overtaking them because they were, they weren't slow boys. But yeah, you just had to make it work when you could, and yeah, it was a pretty hairy race trying to overtake. I mean, most of the back markers were very good. I mean, I was surprised to come up on some twice. So I just love this track. I mean, I hadn't driven it till yesterday, but I do love it.
What makes you love it so much? Because we were talking to a couple of our top contenders just a moment ago, Nicola and also Gurno, and didn't sound that they were too fond of it. It was a bit chaotic. But we've also seen other drivers, and I guess you would agree with this on the track, saying it's actually quite racy for a little circuit.
Well, yeah, you get into a bit of a rhythm. I mean, when you come across the back markers, it can slow you down. I mean, the one in particular I lost about 2 seconds to, which put me out of touch with Rob in front, because I could stay with Rob most of the time. We were very similar lap times. We were having a good little race together. But then when we came across, so it's probably not good for racing per se, with a lot of cars on the track, but it'd be nice to have a race with fewer cars so that you don't have to lap people and then see what it's like. But I just love that last bend. I just it's so much fun. You can take so many liberties. You can be conservative with it and lose a lot of time, and then you can just go right to the edge and just take a lot of time and get a lot of time now, and I haven't come off there yet, so I must be being too conservative. But yeah, I just love that last bend.
Well, this is a great start to the season for you, finishing 7th in a 33-car field. We know last season you weren't able to make all the races. You had some subpar performances. Have you been practicing during week 13 and getting ready to come back strong this year around?
Well, to be honest, Sam, I've not done anything for 2 weeks. I first turned the lap yesterday before the first 2:30 race. I did 5 laps back to see, and then went into the race. Managed to finish it, but then the second race I was doing quite well, and it was a bit of chaos. I mean, it's not a very good track to have at the beginning of the season, I would suggest, especially with some quite twisty bits and a lot of newcomers. But, as the season goes on, you get to know various people. But yeah, I would suggest it'd be better mid to the end of the season. But yeah, it's a good start. I'm really pleased. I've got a new teammate this year because Mr. Pickford's can't commit to so many races. So George Lambert and my old friend Pablo Lambrera Suarez is in our team. I don't know how he's done this weekend, but it'd be nice to be on the same team instead of fighting each other all the time. I'm sure he'd feel the same way.
All right, well, congrats on not only a top 10 finish, but a lead lap finish today, Barry, and we look forward to seeing you at the Nürburgring.
Great, thanks, Sam. See you.
All right, one more interview. Richie, you've caught up with Tommy and Hola.
Tommy and Hola, nice job out there. Started 20th, finished 13th. I'm sure maybe you always want more than that, but considering how chaotic it was out there, nicely done.
Yeah, thank you. It was really, yeah, actually, I have to be happy about that. I didn't really get much practice and had really bad qualifying, and it's really hard to pass here without a car in front making mistakes. So that was not bad from that, and yeah, there was yeah, preparation was really bad. That's a long story, but yeah, I have to be happy with that.
Yeah, he had a nice battle there with Tanner for a while, and he had a little contact, but you guys were able to keep going. How did you find the lap traffic?
Yeah, lap traffic was pretty good. There was one or two guys maybe that maybe wanted to have a little fight or something, and I had to really pass them. And but it's also maybe they were new guys, and it's really hard track. I also had to let people by, and sorry to, I think it was Sergio. I was not really clear about my line, and it looked like he was a bit closer in mirror, so maybe he lost a bit time, but got clean run out of it, so he didn't lose more than on some cars, I'm sure. And yeah, I almost forgot you mentioned that incident. I was not really sure about that or who it even was, and maybe I turned bit late in the corner as he had bit earlier turning point than me. And I had wider line, so I was thinking maybe I should have turned a bit more, and maybe I straightened my car out. So I let someone through on last corner, but I'm not sure if it was same car. So, but sorry to that guy if it was my fault. I actually forgot to look replay, but it was good race anyways.
Yeah, it was a good race, good exciting for us on the broadcast. A tight circuit and a lot of new names, but are we going to see you at the next round?
Yeah, I should be home then, and yeah, it's actually my favorite track also, and I have planned to race it for like 3 last season. For a year now, actually, and I'm not sure if I have gotten race in. So yeah, I'm really waiting for that, and might need to turn my phone off on Friday or something, so I won't miss it.
Right. Well, congratulations there, Tommy. Like I say, man, it was just a survival. You did a good job coming from 20th on the grid, and we look forward to seeing you out there again.
Yes, thank you. It really was survival and just making out. So yeah, thank you guys, and see you later.
All right, and that was Tommy and Hurler. Well, that is going to wrap up our broadcast this week, but join us again next week, same time here on the Global SimRacing Channel for round 2 from the Nürburgring Nordschleife. Pretty sure we won't have to worry about lap traffic as much over there. We would like to thank all of the organisers and the competitors from the Lotus 79 Classic Team Championship for choosing GSRC once again and putting on another great opening round to a season. We would also like to thank all of the companies that provide the software and hardware that we use during our broadcasts, and you can see those all listed on your screen. Additional thanks goes out to Eric Ekholm and Drew Lalonde to provide us with our music. See the screen for how to get a hold of more of their great work. Thanks to the team today, Richie, Amjad and Dougie. If you'd like to find out more about GSRC, visit us at globalsimracingchannel.com. We're also on Twitter at GSR Channel, and be sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on Instagram at GSRC_Gram. All of the upcoming races for our other series are listed on your screen, so be sure to check those out, mark them down on your calendar, and don't miss another second of exciting racing action. But until next time, race clean, race hard, and we'll see you on the track.